I'm Bob Doolittle, and over the last year and a half, we've been working with an organization called Doorway to Recovery, which is a halfway house based out of Farmington Hills. They have about 14 homes in the area. My son was living there in Plymouth at one of their houses. He was struggling with addiction, and so we asked the director of the house if we could start a Bible study there with the men. And they were very excited, very open to having us come and minister.
My name is John Riley, and I've been working with Bob down at the halfway house now for the last year, since the beginning. And it's been an interesting ride. I know Bob had this passion, had an idea of what he wanted to do, felt a calling to go down there. And he brought it to our Tuesday morning breakfast. And so there's a bunch of us that get together Tuesday mornings. We have breakfast every week. And one morning, Bob's talking about this idea he has, and that he really wants to get a couple of other guys to go down there and do that. I was fairly new to Oak Pointe at the time. Been there about a year and a half at that point, and was really looking to engage somewhere, didn't know where. And started thinking about it. I had no experience working with people struggling with addiction. Felt a little overwhelmed, a little maybe nervous. But I started thinking about it. And I remember one Sunday morning I was in service, and it just kind of hit me that God wanted me to go do that. And so I told Bob I wanted to go down there. I remember the very first week we met, I remember pulling into the halfway house, and to be honest, I was a little nervous. I was definitely out of my comfort zone. Walked into the home, really not sure what to expect, and was immediately greeted by a bunch of guys who really wanted to be there. I mean, wanted to hear what we were going to talk about, and we had pizza that first night, and I can still remember a room full of 25, 30 guys. The place was packed. When we started, most people had no idea about anything in Scripture. Over time, we would get people that clearly had had a church upbringing. I mean, there was one gentleman that was there for quite a while, which could have been your Sunday school teacher growing up. I mean, this guy knew Scripture, but he had his struggles, and he engaged, he was there. We had another gentleman that come in who was Jewish. And so you have a Jewish guy who's not even Christian, but he's engaging in a Bible study, and he's talking about his faith, and we're talking about our faith. And it was just dynamics you just normally don't see. And it was just phenomenal to watch the discussions, and really God moved throughout all of this. And so it was just a wonderful journey to watch God moving in the lives of men. We had a couple of guys that started going to church. One of the guys that's been there from day one, we call him Jersey, his name's Jay, and he has since been able to migrate out of the house. He's doing well. He had started going back to church, and actually started bringing a buddy of his from church to the small group on Tuesdays. And so you saw guys reaching out now and inviting their friends. And we've had a handful of guys that don't live there, but are wanting to be a part of a small group with their friends. And you really see the church in action.